Welcome to the Intoxicated Podcast, a weekly comedy talk show that dives into the personal lives of comedians, experts, and creators. I'm your host, Sarah McClellan, a very amateur stand-up comedian and self-proclaimed sad girl. It's the comedy podcast with a lot of heart. Feel hard and talk hard. This is the Intoxicated Podcast.
We're also aware of that now.
Her husband did get up and try to slap me.
Can you imagine?
That explains it.
Oh my God. Fuck. Oh my Lord. Well, let's get into it. This is great. I'm very excited for this one. Everybody, I'm here with a very special guest, an OG. True OG.
Yeah.
Second ever comedian.
And you just had Heidi on. Who was the first?
Which is crazy timing.
Yeah.
Like, it's really weird how that happened, but it happened, and I think there's a reason it happened. It's bringing me back to my roots.
Yeah.
But you were the second ever comedian, first Halifax comedian.
Yeah.
And you've been on, let me see, solo with Kyle. With Durham. Were you on another time?
There was also like when you did the live stream, Kyle and I did like a thing on that.
So kind of four.
Yeah,
so you're
kind
like
of four.
I'm going to say you're the fourth time appearance.
Say this is 4.5.
Podcast.
3.5.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Welcome back. It's Brandon
Thank
Michael.
you. Thanks for having me.
Brandon Michael's
I'm
here.
so happy to be here.
Oh my God. This is great. So you've moved away from us.
Yeah. Now I'm back getting the true Halifax experience.
Oh my gosh. Well, so you would have moved, was it November?
It was.
Ish?
Yeah, right at the end of October. I was gone the last weekend of October is when I left.
My goodness. And what prompted this? You're in Montreal now. What prompted the move to Montreal?
Maya and I we used to go to Montreal maybe 2 to 3 times a year. And we would always say every time we'd go, we'd be like, when Maya graduates, we're going to move.
Oh, yes.
And then she graduated and COVID was felt like we thought it was coming to an end. It doesn't feel like it ever will now, but we were like, it seems like an okay time. And then we just had the opportunity. So we're just like, let's go for it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not too far away from Halifax. You're
no,
pretty
I've been
much
back twice now.
Yeah.
In about 6 months, I've been back twice. So not too bad.
Not too bad at all. So what is Montreal like? So I've been there twice in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Both times in the winter. Seemed awesome when I was there. What do you think of it? How are you liking it?
I'm from Quebec originally. So but I'm not from Montreal, so I'm still pretty new to Montreal. So I'm not like an expert or anything, but it's cool. I like it. The scene there is kind of reminds me of Halifax in some ways,
really?
But like a bigger Halifax.
A bigger Halifax.
There's like a lot more shows, but I still fire off a message to be like, hey, when can I do a set here? And it's like, in a month.
Oh shit!
So
yeah, lots of shows, but lots more people.
Yeah.
So
you know how Halifax gets that backlog sometimes, where you're can take a long time to get on certain rooms.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very much so that way now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that there's a surge of newbies coming through.
It seems like it. It certainly seems like it. Since I've been back, I have seen a couple shows where I don't recognize a lot of the names. And
do you know what? It's great. Of those newbies, there's a good percentage of them that are really coming back constantly. You know how sometimes someone will start and they'll do one set and then they won't do it again for months.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of newbies that have clearly gotten the bug here and they're now doing a bunch of other shows and they're
John Pickett.
Yeah, John Pickett. Fucking shout out to John Pickett.
Yeah,
what a gem.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I don't remember the last time I met a comic and was such fast friends. Oh my goodness, this is just a really great guy.
Right?
Yeah.
He's such a nice dude and very funny, good joke writer, great potential.
The scene here is growing in a awesome way.
In an awesome way.
Seeing Dan come back and Claire and Luba.
Got Luba now.
Yeah. It's really awesome.
It's an equal amount of pros coming in and then newbies coming in.
Exactly.
And then there's all of us in the middle going, let's try to keep up.
Yeah, exactly. No, I feel
we're still doing our best.
Literally, yeah. Oh my goodness.
So
Just
was it strange,
floating.
like going away and then coming back and seeing all these like new faces? Is that weird?
Yeah, it's
Must be.
definitely interesting. It's cool though. Like, I don't know. I really miss it in some ways because I'm like, it's cool to watch it grow. And like,
Yes.
yeah, I feel like I used to like, I'm just seeing so many people who I was like, oh, if I was still here, I would be booking this person a bunch.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, you gotta, hey, like, and this is the thing, you guys. So to catch everybody up, because your last podcast appearance would have been 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Your last podcast appearance with Durham was the night of my first set. So yeah, it would have been 2 years ago in July. Because I remember that because it was that night that I did my first set.
Yeah, I remember that as well.
That's so fucking funny. But like you are a Halifax like MVP. Like you have set up so many shows here and you really put things in motion, I think, for this scene to be where it is. And you've done that and you did that as well with Durham.
Yeah.
So I do have to say that, like,
I got to give a lot of credit to that to Durham. I got to give the hustle behind that was Durham. I think that like he was the complete hustle and I was like more the like I could do a lot of logistics behind it. I was like, all right, well, I'll make the poster, I'll set up the equipment, whatever. But he was like on the ground finding venues.
He was like,
lot.
You were like logistics and maybe marketing, and that he would have been like the sales guy.
Yeah, literally.
Like
it's funny when we first got Elle started. We were living together and he came home. He's like, man, I just found this great room. Like, I think it'd be so good. I just got to convince them. And then I was like, all right, well, I'll go down there. Like, I'll go talk to them. And then I went down, talked to them, and didn't really seem interested. They were like, yeah, okay, here's our email. Send us an email. And then I told him that. And like 2 days later, he calls me. He's like, hey, so I just left Elle's and like they're in. We have a show date booked.
So he had a charisma.
You know, it's really
that
funny.
Really like won people over.
Yeah, and I think this is bad, but I think what helped is one day he was like out and he was getting a bunch of really warm responses, like really like people who were interested. And then he left and he realized he was wearing his like pride mask.
Oh.
And he was like, I really hope like I wasn't giving the impression that like, not because he doesn't want to be like misconstrued as gay, but like that he's like representing a community that he's not a part of.
That's right.
He was like, I hope that's not why they were saying yes to me in like hopes that.
That's hilarious. Hey, it might have helped. Listen,
I feel like it probably did.
You can be an ally.
Yeah,
and proud ally.
Yeah, at least he's showing that he's an ally, which is a help.
That's so funny, but like that's so gotta say very special to have a friendship, but also like a partnership that works well together in terms of. I hate using the word business, but business. Yeah. It's weird to use the word business in comedy.
Yeah, no, the dynamic was perfect. Like
you worked well together. You complemented each other.
Yeah, especially in the sense that I would always be like freaking out about like, oh no, there's 6 tickets sold. The show is tomorrow. What are we gonna do? And then he would always be like, it's fine. It's gonna work out. And he would like, to his credit, he would just call up random people. He'd be like, I haven't spoke to this person in a couple of years. Let me call them and offer them tickets.
Oh my God, the hustle.
Yeah. So
the hustle.
He always had like just this crazy way of being like, all right, well, I'll find a way. He would like one time he took a first aid class and was just airdropping the poster to people.
I heard this story. That's so funny.
I'll tell everyone about, like I've told like Montreal comics when they were like talking about promoting shows, I'm like, airdrop it. Like if you're on the metro, just start sending it to people.
Did people accept it? Because you have to accept it, don't you? Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, we would do it at bars and stuff too. Like,
oh my God.
It was a really smart idea.
That's incredibly smart. And like just the confidence to be someone who is like, come to this show, come like, and like be shameless about it and be very like, just like a go-getter about it. Not everyone has that.
No.
Like, I think a lot of comedians are very, like they're not the best at self-promotion because a lot of us think we're shit.
Yeah, no, I never want to like, I never want to bring people out to shows. It's like anytime someone's at a show that I know,
yeah,
I never invited them personally.
Right, I know.
It's like they took the initiative because I'm like, I won't reach out to someone for that.
I fucking get that so hard. I usually do far worse when I'm trying to impress friends or family.
Yeah. How much of your family has seen you do stand up?
None and nothing.
None and nothing. Do you think is it going to happen?
Unless they came secretly and didn't tell me. But will it happen? Yeah, probably eventually. But I just don't. I'm very honest about this. Like, I'm just not proud of my material yet. I would like my material to be better before my family sees me. Friends. I mean, I welcome friends more. I think the family thing is just strange because I'm such a wildly different person outside of my family life. And I just think breaking down that barrier would be a lot for me.
Yeah. It's kind of nice to rip the Band-Aid off though. Oh,
I mean, I bet you it would feel good like once you do it.
My parents saw my first set.
Oh my goodness gracious.
And like my grandmother has been out to shows. One time Brittany Campbell was hosting and she made a joke about like sucking dick. And she goes, I don't know if your next comic sucks dick. And then brought me on stage. And on stage, I was like, yeah, I suck dick. And then I immediately clued in that my grandmother was in the audience.
Oh my God.
But she's chill. She loves it. She loves coming out to shows.
I think that's my thing. I think I'm just very insecure about it.
Yeah, no, it is like yeah.
I'm very insecure about it. Friends, I'm not like, I mean, I haven't had friends, like non-comic friends or whatever, come to a comedy show and like, you know how like when you first start, it's like, yeah, we're gonna go see you.
Yeah.
And then it's just like very much so quickly.
When are you on? What time?
Yeah. Yeah. And I do have like a lot of Instagram people who are like always asking about like what shows I'm doing. And I tell them, never see them come.
Yeah.
But like, I think I just pick and choose what shows I like really pump out people too. Obviously, like I think if I ever closed a mic out, I would want there to be a crowd.
Yeah. Yeah.
So definitely. I would probably promote that.
Yeah, for sure.
Be like, this is still an open mic, but please come for me. Like I need you now.
Yeah.
So
definitely. No,
it's a strange thing. I also do you find it awkward performing in front of comedians that you very much so highly regard?
Yeah. Oh my God. I hate it. Like that stresses me out more than like anything. Like
it really does.
Bombing in front of like a comic that you really respect is like, I hate that feeling.
It's like, would you rather die or bomb in front of a comic?
Yeah. Like, oh God. I bombed really badly in front of Mark Little and I really love Mark Little.
Fuck.
He's like the biggest one that I could think of who I was like super but even like I don't even like bombing in front of Travis.
No, that's the worst too.
Like
that's not good.
That makes me feel like, oh man, or like Dan or like someone like that.
So I was talking about this with Scott McLean actually recently about how you'll notice like a lot of the pros, they're not, and I mean this in the best way possible. This is actually a good thing. They're not overly generous with the good job, good set, good job.
No.
But for a reason, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
And so like when you do get even that little bit of a good job or a fist bump or like something after a show, it like means so much more because they don't do it for everybody.
Yeah.
And with Dan, I know you're listening because you listen to every episode. I'll never say this to your face, but I was like, I don't know if Dan thinks I'm any good. And then when I did the Dark Side mic this week, he gave me the first ever good job. And I was like, don't cry.
Yeah, I
was like, hold it together, Sarah. You're good.
No, I know that feeling completely. It's really nice.
It's a really nice feeling.
I remember once making Vaughn laugh and that felt really good.
Oh my God. That would
the one
be really
time.
Good. The one time. Hey, you did it once. That's more than a lot of people would have done. Oh my God. Yeah, that makes me sad. I'll never hear that laugh. I can picture his eye rolls though. Oh
my God.
Travis came up to me at Amateur Night Yucks and was like, I sometimes play a game when a comic is on stage. I picture when exactly Vaughn would get up and go out for a smoke. I was like, I don't think he'd even make it through my set. It would be the first line out, he'd be gone.
Oh my goodness.
We miss you, Bunny. We miss you, Bun. Oh my gosh. So let's get into assumptions. Let's do the assumptions segment.
Let's do it.
This is a weird one because it stresses me out because I never want to offend anyone. I don't think I'll offend you with these.
No,
I also asked my co-producer, Sarah, who couldn't be here today. I asked her for some assumptions too. And this was one that we disagreed on. So she had an assumption about you.
Okay.
That I disagreed, but I'll explain why I disagreed. So she assumed that you would have been the class clown.
Oh.
Back in like high school, like younger years. Now, I don't necessarily see that with you, but I have a theory behind that. And that is that most comedians weren't the class clown. I picture class clowns as like the guys that like become salesmen and stuff later in life.
Yeah.
I truly feel like a lot of comedians were probably more introverted and shy in high school. Which one's right? Was she right or was I right?
She was right.
No way!
Yeah,
Oh,
I like
shit.
to. I got in a lot of trouble in high school.
Shit! Oh, you did?
Yeah, I got in a lot of like. I am the reason that a teacher like moved to a different school.
What?
Yeah, because I just like him and I just had like a rivalry and we hated each other.
But like in a like you made fun of him way or like okay
Well, there was just like a lot of things I would do in his class like okay, so I won't say his last name, but the initial was M.
Okay.
And we would always say like, oh, he's a POM, a pissed off, let's say mister.
Okay.
So he couldn't figure out what POM meant. And he was like really angry about it. And he's like yelling at us one day. And he's like, what does it mean? Is it piece of meat? What did I like?
God.
I would just like find anything I could do in his class. Like one time I asked to go to the bathroom and then I was just like walking around and I noticed that the door to the costume room for theater was unlocked. So I like came back in a costume.
Oh my God, stop.
So I would just do like a lot of things like that. And
oh my God.
him and I just like had such an intense rivalry. And he like, the first day, this was grade 9. The first day of grade 10, I like got to school and went immediately to his room to go see like the first day of school. And like the teacher who taught next door to him was like, he's gone. He was like, and he's like, it's because of you guys. He's like, it's because of your class.
Oh my God. Did anyone else egg you on with that? Like, did you have a partner in crime?
Oh,
or
we
was
all
it just
egged
you?
each other on. Like one guy just stole the clock off the wall. And then would like taunt him and be like, hey, do you know what time it is? And he'd be like, no, Derek, because someone stole the clock.
Derek. Oh my God. Wow. So Sarah Nicole was right.
Yeah.
You were the class clown.
Like yeah.
Did you ever get, did you guys ever do those like most likely to?
We
things?
did.
Did you ever get like a, what are they called? Superlatives or superlatives? No.
Superlatives?
That sounds better.
I know how it's pronounced, but I don't know what it means.
I think it's like, I think it's just like
a title like that?
Yeah, like most likely to succeed, most likely to be famous.
I didn't get any of those.
I don't think I did either.
No. There was a class clown one and I didn't get it. It was one of my friends who got it and that was a bone of contention with me. I was upset. I took that one personally.
Oh my God. Were you so were you ever like always goofing off during class too?
Yeah, I just got like sent to the office a lot and like it wasn't anything ever like serious. Like I never like got in like a fight or like like did anything that would actually like, because I knew as long as I kept it like pretty actually funny or like my parents wouldn't care.
Right.
If I wasn't like harming myself or someone else, they wouldn't really care.
Or like school property.
Yeah. As long as it wasn't anything that was like dangerous, then they had a pretty easy time with it.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Okay, so you were the class clown. I don't know why I always think that it's always the people you don't expect to be comedians that become comedians.
It's like a fair assumption. Like I think a lot of I can't think of that many comics who I would be like, they're probably like a class clown type. Like Albert.
Oh, yeah.
I could see Albert as being like a class clown type.
Oh, I wonder. Oh my God. I think he might have answered that on an past episode, but I can't remember if he was or wasn't. But that's actually a good one too.
Mm.
I can see Chris being jerks to teachers.
Yeah, I could see Chris having like an attitude.
I can see him being.
You would definitely have like a bit of an attitude.
Being just, yeah, I can see that. No offense, Chris. Actually, all the offense, to be honest.
Yeah, Chris does have an attitude.
He's a dude. Sarah also said, okay, actually, let me pull up her exact message. Let me see. Okay, so she also said that she assumes that you wanted to be an NBA player at some point.
What? Okay, that's like when I was like young. Like when I was.
What? Stop it! Really?
When I was like, yeah, but like I'm talking like young. Like I played basketball in like grade like I don't know 4 or 5, and 100%. If you would ask me in those years what I wanted to be, it would have been an NBA player.
Holy shit! Sarah Nicole's killing it.
And I haven't gave a shit about basketball in like many years. So that's like a pretty wild like pull for her to get that.
That's a wild pull. I don't know if she would have gotten that from the picture I posted last night, like where you said like that you're going to smoke everybody in basketball because you looked really tall when you were standing at the window.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Wow.
2
for 2. That's impressive.
So you don't care about basketball anymore?
No. I played like the comics will play sometimes. I played a few times. It's too. I'm too bad, and it's too serious. Like I'm sure
that's a great reason.
Yeah, I'm sure they would like
enjoy it.
Say it's not serious, but like to me, it's like, oh, these guys care more than I'm willing to care.
I think the thing about sports that stresses me out is just not being fully clear on like rules or like do you know what I mean? Like it takes a lot of knowledge to like be good at sports. Yeah. And then to like physically do it and then also be like stressed about messing up. Like it just doesn't seem fun.
You know what I like about sports? And I wish that like other things in comedy or other things in life, maybe comedy had this, is like there's a point where you just didn't make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a point where it's like, oh, you're never getting to the NHL. And it would be nice to know if like in many things, like wish there was like some sort of marker that it's like, if you haven't done this by this,
it's clear cut.
It's not. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I see what you mean.
It's so ambiguous otherwise.
Yeah. It's a weird thing where when you're doing something like comedy, you're still not very sure if, well, I mean, I think because it's a self-regulated thing. We don't have bosses telling us how we're doing. We can only go off of like our own, I guess, feelings of how we're doing, but also like we still don't know if like people are blowing smoke up our asses or not, if compliments are genuine, or even if laughter is genuine. Like that's a whole thing. Like a lot of people say like those were encouraging laughs, not real laughs. And I'm just like, but what's the difference?
Yeah, no, it's so hard. Like, how are you ever supposed to know? You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know, you can be just satisfied with like having fun, but some people like that's just not like enough. You know what I mean? It's just like, I would love to know if I'm wasting my time.
That's very real. Yeah. I also feel like, and maybe you'd be a great person to talk to about this, but like, I do feel like there's some comedians who they strive for certain goals. Like, you know, they want to get on JFL. They want to get on TV. And in order to do that, like they have to fit into all these like boxes of comedy, whether that's like corporate clean comedy or like TV clean. Like I recently learned the different tiers of clean.
Oh my gosh.
And I didn't even pass the first one.
No, like I wouldn't either. I wouldn't either. Yeah.
The first one was like no sexual references. I was like, I'm done. I have a couple jokes that aren't about, and I'm trying to lean more into like mental health and being broke. Like I'm trying to get there. But I also am like, I much prefer being authentic. And if my authentic voice does not fit into what is considered success in comedy, then so be it. Like, that's just kind of how I see it. But like, that's a confusing thing.
Yeah, I could like probably I could watch and laugh at a clean comic, like, but it's never going to be like my favorite. You know what I mean? So it's like, why would I write something that it's like, Oh, if I wasn't watching this, it wouldn't be my favorite.
Yeah. It's just, yeah. And I still don't really know what a goal. Do you have a goal in comedy or like a goalpost that you want to hit in terms of success, or are you just happy flying by the seat of your tail?
You know, what's funny is like, this was literally going to be like in the what's wrong with me. Literally, I was like so close to just quitting comedy.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. We're going to park that. Let's park it.
Okay.
Let's finish the assumptions.
Okay.
Because these could also kind of go hand in hand. So I also assumed, okay, 3 more assumptions. Okay. I assume you have a list, whether it's in your brain or a physical list, of show ideas that got away. Like, you know how people have the one that got away?
Yeah.
I assume you have shows that got away. Mm-hmm. So like crazy ideas for shows.
Yeah.
That didn't end up happening.
I had this idea for a show, and I think we wanted to call it, I had like a logo design and everything. It was like, I think it was called The Greatest Show on Legs or something. And I had a list of like 30 show ideas that were just like, every week it was just going to be something different. And like, I'm trying to remember like good ones, but just like some of them were just ideas for like things that could happen, just like off things, like someone gets a haircut or just like different things, or like we do a book club. So I just had like probably like 30 to 50 ideas that I was like, I would love to do this. But then the problem became like, where do you even host that?
Where do you host it? What's the right venue?
Yeah. Like, how do you, like, where is gonna, I wanted to find somewhere that would like let everyone just sit on the floor.
Oh my gosh.
I wanted the audience to just not have chairs. Everyone be on the sitting on the floor.
It's like story time at school.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that idea. Oh, well, you got to keep that list. You never know.
I still have it somewhere, definitely.
It might happen someday.
Yeah.
You got to keep those things. I feel like you're someone who probably is constantly coming up with like show ideas.
Yeah. Not as much lately, but I definitely still have like just a folder somewhere with just like stupid ideas.
Not stupid, great.
Yeah. Some of them are great.
Great ideas that you'll make happen someday. My other assumption was, I'm going to assume you've been doing comedy how long?
Like 4.5 years.
I would have guessed 5, so I was close.
Pretty close.
You have developed a tough skin in comedy.
No. You mean like things don't get to me?
Yeah.
No, I'm so fragile.
Stop it, really?
No, 100%.
Okay. Well, this is what I love about the assumption segment, because it's perception, right?
Yeah, I'm super sensitive.
But is a lot of that internal? You don't put that
No, I don't.
Oh, words.
I would say there's a group of 10 comics, maybe, if that, who probably know how sensitive I am.
Got you. You vent your feelings to those 10 people, but you don't really let it show otherwise, which I actually think is a very good thing in comedy, because
it's I feel bad sometimes after I just rant about something or go off, especially when I know that they might not agree, and then I'm just like, I shouldn't be putting this on them right now, my negativity and hatred towards, but they've also just helped me a lot, so that's nice. It's good to have those friends. It's
really good to have a sounding board of people who can even if they don't agree, just listen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm curious to know if that has gone down at all since Durham dying.
Yeah. Since my negativity.
Yeah.
And then definitely. It's just things don't feel as important.
I think that's a dead friend thing. I truly do. I think that when someone you love dies, when you finally have that moment of life is incredibly so fragile and precious, you stop.
Perspective.
You stop sweating. And I wrote here, doesn't sweat the small stuff anymore.
Yeah.
So much.
It's definitely something that I'm working hard not to sweat the small stuff as much. Actually, literally in a group chat yesterday, I was like, I'm going to hate for a second. And then I stopped myself. I was like, actually, you know what? No, I'm going to be positive. So there's 2 messages. The first one is I'm about to hate. And then it was actually, you know what? Never mind. No, I'm not going to hate.
But I think that you still can. I do think that when you've had this perspective shift, you still can rant, but you then can easily pull yourself out of it and just go, you can turn it around.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? At the end of it all. And that's the important part. I think we're all human, and like it's just gonna happen that we're gonna rant and be negative and be angry or sad or like whatever. But it's that shift around of like, well, like one of the hardest things to ever happen to an adult has happened to you. Yeah. And so now
especially
what can hurt you now? You know? Like
at such a young age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not like you hit your 60s and then or your 70s and like, then you start lose. It's like you lose someone close to you in an so unjust.
So unjust and makes no sense.
Not supposed to happen.
Not at all. I really do. I'll never forget when I found out that Durham passed away, because I've never felt so I was at work and visibly just could not. I had to go outside and like hyperventilate. Yeah. Because I was so knocked off my feet and utterly shocked.
Confusing. So like it baffles me to this day. Like I was just like, sometimes it just, you know what I mean? I'm sure you feel the same with Andrew. It's just like for a long time, it just feels like, oh, that was a horrible dream. What a bad dream. But it's not. But it's like, what a bad dream.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah. And then it's like, and it's not. And it's the cheesiest thing to say, but it's like grief will never leave you. It's here for good. And really it is just time and stuff that helps you cope with it. Yeah. As cheesy, and it's such a fucking cliche thing to say, but I truly do think that like when you lose someone, it will change your perspective on the things you complain about. Yeah. Oh yeah. And 100%. I mean, I'll still have moments where I find myself like complaining about like the stupidest shit ever. Yeah. But you definitely catch yourself and be like, well, this isn't important. Like, yeah. Because then you go back to that moment where nothing else mattered but the fact that you lost this person. And it makes no sense at all. Like that was the most, I was baffled, completely baffled, and still am. Yeah. But we're still here and we're keeping it going for Durham. Because I mean, Durham, again, MVP taken too soon from us. Oh yeah, big time MVP. Yeah, my gosh. Love and how are you doing with? You're obviously your partner was also close with him, so you had somebody with you to grieve with, which was nice because you weren't here in Halifax when you found out. No, it was weird being in Montreal. It was like, in some ways, I'm sure it was beneficial to like not have, it's like a really painful reminder sometimes. Like I drove past both of our apartments the other day on the way to a show, and that was like, that just really hits you hard. Yeah, so it was probably nice to not have those reminders as like when it was very, very fresh. Yeah. Yeah, and then I think doing the show at Dark Side helped. That was so great. So yeah, I think that those two things have like been I don't know, but being in Montreal has definitely like probably been beneficial in terms of like having distractions sometimes. You're apart from it enough to still grieve, but not be constantly bombarded. I think it's like certain things like I didn't have to face them. Yeah. Like if I would have had to be doing comedy in Halifax sooner, like it probably, I don't know how I would have. It's nice to have like a long space. Yeah. Yeah. And well, that's the thing. The thing about Durham was like he left such a footprint on the scene because it was hard to ever see a show poster without the guy's name on it. He was he was involved, even the shows that he wasn't producing, he was always doing time. Yeah. Such a hard worker, and it makes no sense. It's the worst thing ever. And I feel I was not overly close with Durham, but I have like specific memories of him that like really stick out to me. More recently whenever I would show up to a show, in a jean jacket. I have this new jean jacket. always said, "You've stolen Chris Halef's wardrobe," and it always made me laugh, even though he would say that to me every time, and like,
he was always like repeating bits, like reinforcing,
reinforcing them,
like. It would get to a point where it's like, it's funny, it's not funny, it's not funny. And then it's even funnier because he knew when to like keep pushing. Like he would always, on Facebook, he would start out every message with, "Hey, it's Durham." It's like such a simple, dry bit that's like pretty funny, especially when it's like the 15th time.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you, this might be too deep of a question, but like, were you someone who believed in like afterlife, stuff like that before?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I still don't know what I truly think. Because I took a class in university called Death.
I mean, hey, I would fucking take that class. Yeah. Oh my God.
I had back-to-back one semester, Love and then Death.
I fucking love that.
It was really interesting. And we learned about a lot of different, like, it was a religion class. So we learned about a lot of different like perspectives on death.
Yeah.
And a lot of them have like aspects that sound nice and that I would like to believe. Like, I don't know, reincarnation sounds really nice. Like,
it does. So I would highly recommend, well, actually, would I recommend it? Maybe just think on this show. I don't know if everyone should watch it, especially if you're in the throes of grief, but like, I'm the type that, for me, grieving, I want to know more about. Like, I'm the one who's like, I want to know more about death to help me get over it. Some people just go, I don't want to think about it. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. But I'm the type that's like, tell me more. There's a show on Netflix called Surviving Death.
Okay.
Which is about death. And like the episodes are like the first one's about near-death experiences. There's some about like mediums. There's one about reincarnation.
Okay.
Like it's about specific subjects about death, and it's very fascinating.
Sounds interesting.
I just can't get enough of it. I just love thinking about that type of thing, and it's comforting to me. But I know that it's not
it's
comforting to everybody.
Yeah.
I just don't really like the idea of like this person you love is totally gone. I don't like that.
No, me
idea.
Either. Me either. I don't know. Something about reincarnation is like
really cool.
A little peaceful.
It would really suck if you came back as like an ant or something.
True, but then like how long are you lasting before, like, you know what I mean?
But like, would you know, like that's the thing about reincarnations. Like if you were reincarnated, I guess you do hear of people who are like, so one of the episodes about reincarnation, like this little boy was just like, oh yeah, I used to be Timothy so-and-so. Like he just knew.
Did you ever hear Durham's bit about like he didn't speak until I don't remember exactly what age, but I want to say like 3 or something. And he just started speaking like full form sentences, and he would tell his mom that he knew her and he was a soldier.
What?
I
didn't know this.
Who had like saved her or something. Yeah, he had like it was like a true, he told me the story. It was a true story, and he like wrote a bit about it that I don't know how often he did it, but.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I definitely like, I should go. I have like, because I edited that video, I have like 30 of his sets just on my computer. I should try and find it and like.
Please find it. Yeah. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
That's wild. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cause like, there are things you can do to like tap into like past lives or whatever. Mm-hmm. Super expensive to find out, but. and like, I don't know if I would want to find out.
There's no guarantee that
it's just, and then there's like people who are like new souls who are like just brand new, like kicking around.
Those are the people who aren't depressed somehow.
Then it must be
like new souls, like they haven't had all this like traumatic experiences.
It must be, but I do think essence and spirit stays around, like regardless. Like Vaughn was atheist. I like to say that he's too stubborn to haunt me because I still have yet to experience any weird like things with him. But I'm like, one of these days I'm going to connect with you somehow. I still would love to pay to see a medium and just see what happens. I'm still very curious about that.
Yeah, I would do that too. That would
you?
Be like, I don't think not because I don't think I would buy it. Like, I don't think I would take it, but I think there would be an opportunity for entertainment within it.
Yes.
Like,
fucking Nikki Glaser just did what's called a family. Oh, fuck. What was it called? It's something about like tapping into your ancestors and what they did to like affect you now. And she was like wildly entertained by the whole process. And like, I guess Whitney Cummings like paid for her to do it. And she was like, even if you don't believe it, just do it for the material that you'll get out of it.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's like, why not take on an experience like that? It's like ripe for, this may be weird podcast etiquette in terms of like bringing up random unrelated podcasts.
I love this.
I was literally listening to an episode of a podcast with Nikki Glaser last night.
Oh, no way.
And I'm pretty sure I noticed that you follow the podcast on Instagram. Do you listen to Blocked Party?
I think that's one that I wanted to listen to and probably haven't. Oh, that's the one that's like you talk about who's blocked you, right?
Yeah.
I haven't listened yet, but I want to listen.
I would recommend it. And she was a good her episode was good.
Oh, damn. Is that all about like you specifically go on to talk about someone who blocked you?
Yeah, there's like a few segments, but then that's the big one. But like, yeah, it's very good.
I didn't realize she did that. That's crazy.
It's like a Canadian podcast too.
That's crazy. Oh my God, I want to be big enough to be able to get a big guest like that. That would be
one of the hosts like opens up for her in Vancouver all the time.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, there it is. I just know how she feels about podcasts. So I don't think I would ever want to ask her.
Not a fan?
Well, I listen to her daily podcast. It's just called the Nikki Glaser podcast. And it's essentially just like a radio show. But she's always been very honest about like how much she works and her schedule, how insane her schedule is, and how it's just like she'll have days where it's like podcast, and like it wears her out.
Yeah.
So like I would just be like, I don't want to wear you out. Like I would love to talk to you, but like I don't want you to feel obligated to do it. Do you know what I mean?
It's
like
intimidating to like shoot the shot and be like, hey, do you want to do this? Like.
Yeah.
Getting shut down too. That sucks.
Oh my God. Yeah, it does. That does. Oof. It's a weird thing because like it is someone's time.
Yeah. And you try not to take it personal, but it's like, oh, this sucks.
This sucks. Yeah.
More that like me, I'm like, anytime I've been like shot down for like asking someone, which I only can think of one real instance.
For a podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ooh. I'm interested to know.
I don't know if I should say.
Is it a local?
No.
Are they too big to know that you mentioned them on this show?
Yeah.
Okay, then mention it.
John Doerr.
Oh shit, he shut you down. Does he have a podcast?
No, it's a weird story, but it's
oh my God.
I met him after a show that he did a Good Robot.
Yep.
And he was extremely nice and was like, do you want to do a spot in tomorrow night show? And I was like, yeah, that would be incredible.
Fun.
And then he took down my phone number and called me the next day and was like, hey, sorry, the timing is too tight. Like I asked the venue and we can't add anyone to the show. And then I was like, oh, I don't care at all. Like, thank you for it all reaching out for me. And he was like, oh, well, if you ever have any questions or anything, like you got my number. And then the next time he came into town, I sent him a message and I was like, hey, off chance. And he didn't answer.
Oh, well, at least he didn't write back, who's this?
Yeah, well.
Do you think he deleted your number?
Maybe.
Oh, man.
Oh, I'm not offended by it. I just like hope I didn't like inconvenience someone. Like I hope he wasn't like annoyed to get it, to be like, oh, it's fucking open micers podcast. That
is like, well, number one, it's like, I guess you can take two kind of stances on it. Like, yeah, like, why not? Why not just put it out there and like whatever happens, happens?
Yeah, shoot the shot.
But it's so hard to not, when you admire someone like that, it would be hard to not get your hopes up.
That's like potentially like my favorite comedian of all time.
Oh my God, John Doerr's so good.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's up there for the biggest like influence on. Yeah, John Doerr is like my number one.
Oh God damn, fuck! And actually, that reminds me. When I met Whitney, when she signed my book.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's
she gave me her assistant's email.
Cool.
Because like when we had said like we're comics from Canada,
Mm-hmm.
like she was then talking about like, oh, the next time that I'm close, like email for tickets, we'll get you tickets. And then I said we're comics from Canada, and she said, oh, you'll have to do we'll try to get you some time too.
That would be incredible.
And I was like, I don't think I can follow up with you and ask for time. I think I'm too intimidated.
Yeah,
I don't think I could do that.
I would do it. I would go for it. Like, I would feel horrible anxiety, but I would do it.
Right?
Like, I felt horrible anxiety about even asking him, like, hey, do you want to do this podcast? And like felt bad for like a while after, like, shit, I shouldn't have did that. But like ultimately I look back now and I'm like, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
I feel
Like it's a blip on the radar.
Yeah,
truly.
I feel like everyone probably does something like that at some point where they like embarrass themselves to someone they admire.
I've done that with Nathan McIntosh twice, and I won't ever ask him again. Because the thing is with Nathan, when he comes in town, he's usually really busy.
Yeah.
And I always am just like, I just don't want to put more on your plate.
Mm-hmm.
My God, there's no one else I'd rather podcast with than Nathan McIntosh. Like I love, like he's my John Doerr.
He's incredible. He's very funny.
And I think I asked him a couple times, but like it's always just been like just very light. Like if you ever want to, it's here. Like and I always just go like, let me know, and I kind of put it in their court.
Yeah.
Versus saying like, do you want to do the podcast on this day at this time? Like, which I think would be a more like aggressive way of asking. But I get starstruck very easily.
Yeah, I get starstruck too. I like.
Oh my God.
It's hard not to. It really is.
It truly is.
It's hard to be coy and just like.
And talk to the person like another person and not this like person you have like on a pedestal.
Yeah, I feel like I just like. This was a couple of years ago that happened with John Doerr. I feel like now if I saw like a big comedian, I'd just like avoid. I'd just like kind of retreat a little bit.
Yes. Yeah, I'm definitely the fan to like retreat and not like there's fans that like storm people and like I would hate that.
Yeah,
I would
never
hate that
storm
so
anyone.
much.
I would like. I felt like, yeah. I feel, but it's a bad look to like be the people flocking to someone.
It's a really bad look,
especially when it's like a whole crew and it's like, oh, that has to be so annoying.
Yep. There's definitely an etiquette, but then you know what? On the other side of things, there's also moments where you need to do it because it's your only chance to do it.
Yeah, I mean, some people like love it too when they're like, someone is audacious enough and they like hit it just right. You know what I mean? You
Yes.
It's like a story I always think of, you know, Tim and Eric.
Yes.
They like would just eat, or they would just mail tapes to like Bob Odenkirk. And that's how they like kind of got on the map, is like him helping them because they just mailed him tapes.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So it's like, that story can justify a lot for me.
I recently saw an article that was this business owner in Halifax who runs the Flotation Center. Her name's Lindsay.
Yeah.
Wonderful place to go and just chill out. She applied to be on the Conan podcast because he has a segment where he talks
a fan, right?
Exactly, and she got on it.
She got on it.
So she recently recorded it. I don't know when it's coming out.
Whoa,
but she recorded it like remotely because like he talks about like fans who have weird jobs, and she's like, well, I put people in a dome thing and I let them float around water naked.
Yeah,
pretty weird job. And she said that he was like a joy, like
that's incredible,
a total joy to talk to and shit. So there you go. I
can't wait to hear that.
Isn't that wild?
That's so awesome.
And I think that's a little different though, where it's like they're asking for fans. So like I think if it was a situation like that, I would for sure like apply and shoot my shot.
I feel like that's a scenario where they would never take a comic. So many comics probably apply. And it's like they're never gonna just take a comic.
Right?
It's like, yeah, we have access to the best comics in the world, or we could just pull
an open micer from Halifax. Yeah. That's so funny. But yeah, there you go. Shoot your shot in some cases if you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's great. I'd love to get to the next segment. So I skew this like this for a reason, because at this point we're warmed up. I would love to hear your rant.
Okay. I don't know how long this rant has to be.
It can be as long as you have time for.
I'm going
to put it on you.
And you know what? And I actually have a couple of backup ideas too that I wrote down.
Backups.
Okay. So, but the number one like issue that first came to mind is people got to stop ragging on me about wearing a shoelace for a belt.
Wait, are you wearing it now?
Yeah, absolutely.
See?
Look. Shoelace belt.
Shoelace belt.
Shoelace belt. I hung out with skateboarders a lot in high school, and that's what they do.
No way.
Yeah, I'm not like I can skateboard, but I'm not good at it enough to be like doing tricks and stuff. So like, I imagine that it might have something to do with like you don't want to be like crouching and like have an uncomfortable belt.
Yeah.
Or poverty.
That could be it too.
But side rant, belts never fit me properly either.
No, I hate belts.
Yeah, belts suck. And a shoelace belt is like...
You can form it to you.
Yeah, I love a shoelace belt. And like people
never even
will
thought
get
of
on
it.
my case.
I never even thought of it until you said the word.
People definitely are like, they don't like it. They take offense to the shoelace belt.
What do you think their offense is? The look of it?
It probably doesn't help when like sometimes like the strings are just hanging down and like, but I don't know. I kind of lean into it and have the strings hang down.
That is so funny. On that subject, I fucking hate shoelaces.
Do you?
Yes.
Really? Do you wear slip-ons?
I hate shoes that have extra long shoelaces that you have to like double, triple.
Yeah.
Like it literally bugs me so much.
Yeah.
I want Velcro shoes to avoid shoelaces.
Backup one I had.
What are your other rants?
Why does no one know how often you're actually supposed to wash your hair? You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean though? Like,
yes.
Yeah, it's such conflicting information. Then you hear things like, "Oh, celebrities don't shower anymore." Have you heard that? And it's like, well, I don't know what to believe.
Celebrities don't bathe their babies.
Yeah.
Fucking Dax Shepard and Christian Bell came out with like
they don't bathe their babies.
Well, they had said something that like I think they came out saying that they don't bathe or shower that often. And
Babies are dirty.
They just wash like the pits and like the crevices, which are like the important parts, I guess.
Yeah.
I, as a woman, probably don't shower as much as most women.
No.
Like I'll say it.
How often do you wash your hair?
I wash my hair like every third day.
I feel like that's like standard. I feel like that's good.
I know some people with longer hair that literally wash their hair every day, and that's too much.
Yeah, I feel like I wash my hair every 2 to 3 days.
2 to 3.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I also feel like it depends on your hair type. And if like you got oily hair, I love a dry shampoo.
Oh, dry shampoo is great.
It's great, but it is so pricey and such a scam sometimes because you only get so many uses out of it.
Yeah.
But that is a very frustrating thing. And it's just funny to me that as adults, we still haven't figured it out. But
my last two that I had, why did Halifax make the bridge toll $1.25? I don't like that. Do you know what I mean? I'm saying I do know what I mean a lot, but I don't. That's such an awkward amount.
Yes, that is an awkward amount. It's like you found a loony, you still need fucking quarter.
That's greedy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it should be $1 or $2.
Yeah, even if it was $2, it would feel less greedy.
It would feel less
I don't even know why. It's more money, but it's like...
Why don't they take debit?
2 coins? 2 coins is too much.
Why don't they? I don't like the idea of having change. I never have change.
Yeah, no, me either.
I never have change. There should be an app.
I guess there's like the Mac Pass, but...
Yeah. Oh, that's true. But there should be I don't know. I feel like within the strides in technology, there should be an easier way. Same with fucking bus tickets and bus passes.
Yeah. I agree with, I mean, I don't take the bus in Montreal. I take like the subway everywhere.
Oh, so jealous.
But yeah.
How much is the subway there?
$3.50 a trip. And then like a day pass is $10.
Okay.
A month is like $90.
Okay.
A week is $30.
$90 a month. I mean, that's not that bad.
It's not that bad, honestly.
I mean, a bus pass here is $80.
Yeah, and you also get access to the buses.
Right.
So bus
fuck yeah.
and metro for $90 a month.
That's honestly not bad.
Yeah, and you can get like anywhere you need to go.
So, I mean, just subways in general are mind blowing to me.
Yeah, they're like fun.
They're so fun.
Although I've had like scary experiences.
Oh, have you?
I was a couple weeks ago, I was coming back from a concert and it was like 11 or 12 at night. And I'm like standing there and this guy is walking around and he's like asking for change. And I didn't have any to give, but I noticed the person in front of me didn't have any to give either. And they said no. And after he said no, he like punched like the wall.
Woo!
And I was like,
scary.
oh no, like I can't help him either. So he comes up to me and asks me, and I say, I was like, no, I'm sorry. And he just like stands there and keeps staring at me for a few seconds. And then he walks around and then he walks away. But then he like turns around, starts walking back towards me. And I had my hand up on like the pole, and he walked up and like put his 2 fingers above my hand and started going like, just like this far above my hand. So I like took my hand down. And then he started barking at me.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, yeah.
At least he didn't punch you.
No, he didn't punch me. And like, it was pretty crowded. I was kind of like, all right, well, like if anything starts to get crazy, there's a lot of people here.
Yeah.
Surely they'll.
Right.
Yeah.
Someone will help you out or.
And then he got off at the next stop. So I like turned to Maya and I was like, did you just see that? And she's like, no, I had my eyes closed. I was like, it's probably not the right way to go. Like you should probably be a little more careful in it.
Barking. Wow.
Yeah.
It's I try to be sensitive to people.
Yeah.
I try to be sensitive to people I see on the street that like I know are in bad circumstance, but sometimes it's really scary.
Yeah.
It can be scary.
Definitely like instances that are just like when he punched the wall, I'm like, oh, I don't feel guilty about being scared right now.
No, that's violent and scary.
That, or if someone's like clearly like too drunk or something, like if I see someone like stumbling around, I get a little bit like on my toes, like
yeah.
It's
I work in the North End now, and it is interesting the characters you'll see there just like in broad daylight in the afternoon. Like
you know Mike?
Which one's he?
He always hangs out in front of I want to say like what's the name of it? Envie?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I probably know Mike because I'm right around there.
Yeah, he's always like out there dancing. Like he's a character you'll meet. He's harmless. He's like,
oh, fuck.
He'll ask you for money or to use your phone or something, but he's harmless. One time I was going into Local Source. So like Local Source, small, expensive, like I was really only going in there for like one thing probably. I wouldn't have, and he was like, hey, I need some, he's asking for help. And I was like, yeah, I'll get you. And he starts listing off like, he's like, okay, can you get me milk, eggs, bread, coffee,
the essentials,
chicken meat. And he phrased it as chicken meat, which I thought was really funny. And I was like, I'm sorry, man. Like I was like, it's really expensive in there. Like I was like, I'll get you like milk and bread.
I'm on a budget.
Eggs. But like, I was like, I can't even afford to get like myself coffee in there. Like,
yeah,
that's a small, and he started negotiating. He's like, okay. Just the coffee and the eggs.
And you did it.
I bought him a sandwich.
Oh, well, nice compromise.
I was like, you know what? This has dairy. It has chicken meat. It has
chicken meat.
And then when I was in there, the girl was like, she like saw me talking and she was like, did he ask you for coffee? And I was like, yeah. And she goes, he's already had coffee today. Don't let him fool you.
Oh my gosh. At least he's asking for food. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, shout out Mike.
Shout out to Mike.
He's not doing anything wrong.
There's another guy that walks around the North End and just yells at people a lot and walks with a very angry stance. And that kind of freaks me out sometimes.
I'm being honest, this could also be Mike.
Did he have blonde hair?
Oh, no.
Is he younger?
No.
Okay, yeah. Different guy.
Are we thinking of
I don't know this guy's name.
The guy with the panda ears? I don't know if you've heard of him. He terrorizes people.
I don't know this.
Wait.
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking. No, it's not him.
He like shoved someone off a skateboard at the Commons.
Oh, fuck.
Who was doing nothing. They were just like skateboarding down the path, like minding their own business. And they were like skated by him and he just like shoved them.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you gotta be careful out there, everybody. It's a sad, scary world, but we gotta look out for ourselves too at the same time, you know? So scary stuff. Woof, 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 woof. Any other rants, Brandon?
No, I got everything off my chest.
You're ranted out.
Yeah.
Your rants were so specific. I love it. I love it so much. Okay, so let's get into the middle segment, the meaty one. Let's swing back to what's wrong with you.
Yeah, as I said earlier, I'll get right into it. I literally almost quit comedy. Like
When? Okay, so tell me when.
Like over the past few months.
Really?
Yeah, I was like just done. I was just like, I went like a really long stretch where I felt like I didn't get any opportunities that I was excited about, or like, yeah, just I guess that was really it. I just was like, I felt like I plateaued and I'm like, wasn't having fun. I just did some sets in Montreal that were like, I had a couple good sets in Montreal, but I also had just a couple bad experiences.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went to a mic and this guy was like obnoxiously like fake. It was like a mic, no one there. And there's this one comic in the corner who's just like obnoxiously fake laughing. And I'm a bullet and I'm just like, what's this guy's like?
Oh my
like,
God.
I was like, you could tell that it's not genuine. So I think I called attention and was like, hey, what are you doing? Like, why are you laughing like that? And then after my set, I went outside to smoke and he came outside and I was like, hey, how's it going? Just to like try and give him the benefit of the doubt. And he was just like, and like walked away. And like, that just struck me. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I don't want to deal with this.
No, that's...
And that's like not even that bad. That's like realistically, that's someone like lightly fucking with me. But I was just like when I was like in a new city and like was like, shit, I worked really hard in Halifax and like why?
Right.
Yeah, I was like, why did I leave again?
Why did I do this? Yeah, come here to only get this treatment. Fuck.
I feel like, don't get me wrong, I've met nice people, had good experiences in Montreal. I really like it and I do like the scene. But I just had that. And then even before I left, I like last summer I took a break for a while because I was like deciding whether I wanted to keep going. I feel like it wears on you, right? I mean, we've talked about this. It's heavy.
And the thing is, when it's not fun, I had to literally write on a Post-it note once, like, you never signed a comedy contract. Like, you actually don't have to do this.
Yeah. No,
it's not like
obligated.
You're working for comedy. It's not like someone hired you and said you have to show up and do your job.
Mm-hmm.
When it becomes not fun, it can be a very, like, I think Jordan Foisey used the word emotionally alienating.
Yeah.
And like, that's the best word that I can use to describe it. It's a very strange thing to like do all this output, which is like time and energy. And like, you're writing jokes and you're throwing it out there. And like, then when the input isn't there, it is awful.
And like, you simultaneously know that like, it shouldn't be making you feel this bad. You know what I mean? It's like, comedy is so unimportant in the grand scheme of like life. You know what I mean? It's like,
yes.
It's like, you're not like, if it's making me this unhappy, like it's like, what is the purpose?
What is the purpose? That's a great way to say it, because I think for some people, for example, like Travis knows that that this is what he's going to do.
Yeah.
It's like when someone is young and they're like, I want to be a doctor. And so then their whole life is dedicated to being a doctor.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of us just get into comedy because like we just randomly were like, let's just try this thing. And then we're in it. And then when things get shitty, we don't see the purpose.
Yeah, I definitely growing up heavily wanted to be. My mom actually just found like a paper that I like was from some time in high school. And like one of the things I had to fill out was like, what is your dream job? And I literally wrote like stand-up comedian. Like I've always wanted to do it. But then I went through a long period where I'm like, maybe it's not what I thought it was. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm like, sometimes I really don't want to go down to like a dark, dingy bar where there's no guarantee there's going to be an audience, where like, especially when I was like in a new scene, I'm like, I don't know. There's no guarantee that I'm going to like, because it's a big enough scene that it's like, oh, I could be on shows and not like anyone that I'm with. You know what I mean? And that's like a shitty feeling to like.
You don't even have the community sense.
Like the show starts, you're 10th and you don't know.
Yeah.
And like it's 10th doesn't sound that bad in some circumstances, but it's not like 10 3-minute sets. It's like 10 like 7 to 10 minute sets. So it's like a deep while and you're just sitting there. You don't know anyone. You're like, you know what I mean? That's can be such a grind. And I felt like I did it the first time in Halifax and it worked out. And then I got to Montreal and I wasn't giving it a fair shake.
Oh, yeah. And that's a whole other thing too, right? With when you're very hyper aware of your like there's times where I'm just like, I'm giving 50%.
Yeah.
Because that's all I can give right now.
Yeah.
And I still have to give 50% and feel shitty about it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, yeah, sometimes it's like it's also just that there are other paths in comedy. There are other like, you know what I mean? Like there are other things you can do that I've written sketches and stuff that are more that I sometimes find like, oh, completing this sketch was more satisfying than like set at a bad mic.
That's right. Yeah. I think people tend to forget that. They tend to forget the other avenues that you could go about it, that you're still scratching an itch and incorporating comedy into your life, but in a different way than stand-up, which is so like exhausting. Yeah.
But on the flip side of all that, I got back here and did my first set and was instantly like, okay, I hyped it up way too, because I probably went 2 or 3 months in Montreal without doing a set.
Right.
And then I got back and I was like, oh, I hyped it up way too much. I just had like a blast. It is still fun. I'm just in my own head too much.
It is. And it's, we have to be aware of our mental states too, I think, and like give ourselves a break. I don't think breaks are bad. I think people should take breaks for their own sanity.
Oh, for sure.
Especially in stand-up, because there is this, I do firmly believe that like, it's an art that like you need to do to get good at. Like you do need to do lots of shows and different kinds of shows, and you need to do good shows, bad shows, open mics, like, you know what I mean? You have to dive in. But like, I do think that if you are in I firmly believe that if you're in a bad mental headspace, it's not a overly healthy thing to force yourself to do.
I think I've definitely been in just like ruts where I'm doing stand up and it's making it worse.
Yes,
it's making me like more like upset throughout my day. Like it's just it's not. There's definitely periods where it's not positively contributing.
Yeah.
But there are also periods where it is.
And I'm very honest in saying sometimes I hate it when the mentality is go and do bad because you'll learn something. And I'm just going to be honest, guys. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's truly a show with one drunk guy and a bunch of comics who've seen you do it 1,000 times who clearly aren't going to belly laugh at you. And you've wasted, maybe you haven't wasted a night because you are still doing your jokes and I guess practicing, but it feels like your night's a bit wasted.
Also, I don't want to make that one drunk guy laugh. Like, the fuck do I care if this guy who's hanging out alone at a bar, in a dive bar at 10 p.m.
That's right.
Like, this guy's alone drinking for a reason.
And this is specifically why whenever someone's upset about a Gus's set, I go, it's okay. We've all been there. Yeah. Like, it's literally a rite of passage to like have that experience. And it is something that I think a lot of comedians have probably almost quit many times.
Yeah, it's
but is it something that you would formally, like, my thing is like, you can sometimes quit, but like maybe have enough people know that you quit. Like, maybe it's just, you just don't do shows for a bit and you take a little, it's like you're on a break. You didn't break up, but you're on a break.
I probably would never be the type to make like a formal, be like, hey, everyone,
formal statement.
Quit. Like, because like, what am I quitting from? Like, you know what I mean? I'm quitting from doing like, So I would never like formally say I quit. I also don't know if I would ever stop making like, even if I stop doing stand-up, which now I don't really like intend to. Mm-hmm. Although I'll probably go through a rut again where I might feel like it, but I'll probably never stop creating funny things or trying to create funny things.
Exactly.
Like, yeah. I really enjoyed different mediums. So like, I don't think I would ever quit comedy.
I think it's one of those things that like, if you're someone who hit it hard and you were in it and it became you, I don't think you really can quit it. I think it's always going to be there. And it's just a matter of like, if you'll come back to it or not. Mm-hmm. But I do think like for someone like you, like so heavily involved in like always doing shows and stuff. If you were someone who did decide to take a break, like people would be like, where's Brandon? Like people would want to know where you were. So it's almost like you do have to make a statement or like, which it just feels so funny to me. Like just this formal, like.
Yeah, I guess the way it would like manifest is like there was a day where I was feeling really like dramatic and I just happened to get a message from Martin that was just like, hey, do you want to do Gus's sometime coming up? And I was just like, to be honest, I'm taking like, it wasn't like, I obviously like, I'll always be nice to Martin, but I was just like, to be honest, man, I'm just taking a break right now. I'm just like, whatever. And then he got back to me. He's like, oh, I hope everything's okay. And I didn't have to say, I was like, no, I was like working as a PA on a show. So I'm like, no, I just like working a PA with a lot of night shoots. So I can't really can't really do it right now.
Yeah, I've had those thoughts too, where I go like, what will I say to people if I just don't want to do a show versus I can't do a show?
Yeah.
Like what's the wording you use? Like, is it I just need a break, or I'm not performing currently, or I'm focusing on writing right now? Like I don't know what it is.
Because that's the other thing.
Weird.
It
feels so weird.
It feels like if you let people know that,
yeah,
it's like, all right, they're not gonna. You're out of their mind. They're not gonna book you. Like,
or they won't think. My fear is always they won't think that I am taking it seriously.
Yeah.
When in fact I'm taking it so seriously.
You're taking it so seriously that it's like a detriment.
That's why I'm taking the break, because it's actually eating away at me.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how I feel.
Oh my God. I think Jordan Foisey, like, I think I asked Jordan on the podcast, like, have you ever thought, I love asking people the question because I do think it's very common to want to quit. And he's like, no, I've never gotten to the point where I've like solemnly hung up the mic on a rack. Like it's like a black and white scene in a movie of like, you're hanging up the mic, putting it away. It's a sad thing, but I do think it's just a hard. I don't think people realize how hard it is, and unfortunately, it's one of those arts that like, because of the validation that you get from it, and the yay, you're a comedian, yay, go make people laugh, and it's just like it feels weird to then go like, no, I just don't want to make you laugh anymore.
Yeah, I also hate like the self-promotion aspect of comedy, like that like annoys me. I'm just like, oh, I really have to like act like, because like to me it's like I know that these things aren't important, but it's like I almost feel like you have to act like they are.
Yes.
And
yes.
I don't know, I just like, even like most of the biggest opportunities I've ever gotten, I've been like, oh, I know this doesn't mean anything. So it's like weird, you know what I mean?
I do. Yeah, it's strange to go, yeah, it's a hard thing to word. Like it's strange to talk yourself up about something that shouldn't mean anything, but you kind of have to talk it up to bring people to the show.
But it also does mean something to you. It's not like it doesn't mean anything to me. I just know in the grand scheme of the world, or in the grand scheme of like, I know I have friends with babies, or I have like, just like, well, this show is not actually important in the world.
That's true. It's that, I think it comes back to that purpose thing. And it's like, what's everybody's purpose on this earth? I always say that for me, life shouldn't just be about what you do. When you're on your deathbed, are you going to be thinking about, I should have done 10 more mics, or like, I should have grinded more.
Yeah.
Or are you going to be thinking about the connections you made, the people, your relationships, which are, to me, that's the important
that's the most meaningful thing
that can come out of comedy, is that community feeling and like the bonds you make. And also, like, even though it's emotionally alienating, it can also connect you with people who are like you, which is very valuable.
Yeah, 100%. 100% it does. Like, that's the other thing is, like, one of the reasons I felt like I could even quit is because I was like, oh, I just made these friends that even if I quit, they'll always be my friends.
Yeah.
I mean, so I was like, maybe that's what I got out of stand-up.
And maybe that's what it is. Or it's, I mean, I do think that it is probably so much more than you think.
Yeah.
Like the skill sets you gain in comedy, which can be very transferable to other things.
Yeah.
And that charisma, which is truly, you just gain more of it the more you do it.
Yeah. I literally think like, this trip back is like, I definitely am not going to stop now because I've had such a great time this trip. Like
you were just in a valley.
Yeah, literally like
a valley, peaks and valleys.
Getting the message to like do the show opening for Kenny and Spenny is God. What?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what I was like, okay, well, clearly something was on the horizon. And honestly, I got to credit that one to Durham.
So what? Okay. So tell everybody about this. So this will come out, unfortunately, before the show, but you've gotten this opportunity. How'd this happen?
So Durham, again, Durham was the one who like made the connection, and him and I worked together on the show, but we did a show at the Marquee. And the manager of the Marquee reached out and was just like, hey, I remember seeing you at blah, 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 like this show. And we need, he's like, we have Kenny and Spenny coming to town, and they asked for 2 dirty comics.
Oh my God.
And I thought of you.
So
I was like, oh, cool. And then Kirsten is the other one.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
So her and I were on that show together. I got to credit that one to Durham because he was the one who like put together that show.
Fuck.
So he pulled through again, got me another good gig.
Oh my God. Constantly pulling through. And then this is happening when?
On Thursday, so the 28th.
Holy shit, that's exciting.
Yeah.
That is so exciting. Are you a fan of those guys?
Yeah, I love them. Like, I've seen like every episode of their show. I watched them a ton growing up. Like, I literally remember like the first time I heard about them, I was in like grade probably like 6 or 7 or something like.
Been around for a bit.
Yeah, they've been around for a long time.
Holy shit. So are you someone who feels pressure with something like that? Like, are you the type?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, you feel some pressure?
Yeah, I want to get some, I want to microdose some mushrooms. That's helped me with like nerves before.
Oh, has it?
Yeah, big time. And I would recommend that to like anyone who, I don't know how if it would like interact with an SSRI. I used to be on an SSRI, and like I found that microdosing was more helpful to me than my SSRI.
Interesting. And it doesn't make you high or anything. It just makes you calm.
Yeah, it's like weird. Like it's like an antidepressant on its best day. You know what I mean? You know, the day where like, oh, this is working. Like I actually feel good. I might have this thing coming up, but I feel equipped.
Oh my God. I'm not good with high pressure shows.
Yeah, me either. So that's why I'm like, well, I guess it's not that I'm not good with them. I mean, I've been a few times this past week where I've like just in the middle of the night, I'm just like, oh shit, I got to do this in less than a week. Like this is. The other thing is, I think it's going to be a rowdy crowd.
Oh, I mean, I think you're going to do amazing. Oh, well, I think you're just going to, I think you will play off the energy and it's going to be great. Cause like, especially the Marquee, there's a cool energy in that room.
Oh, you were on the show.
The burlesque one?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was actually, oddly enough, funny enough, when I think about like the times I felt best in comedy, that was one of my favorite shows that was
a great show. That was a really, really great show. Those shows were all like, that audience was so like, just, yeah, they were so ready to go. They were so. just from the beginning. Like you'd think it would be hard to compete with a burlesque dancer.
Boobies.
Yeah, but like jokes about boobies were just as good for them.
Well, the thing is like that type of crowd, like the type of crowd who goes to concerts, shows at Marquee, they just appreciate the arts.
Yeah.
In general. Whereas like, open mics, like you might just get any fucking person in there who
didn't even know there was going to be happening.
And that's the thing about the Marquee, where it's such a historic like venue in Halifax. It just draws the right fucking people for entertainment. It really, really does.
Yeah. Although I do think that their fans are going to be rowdy. I'm hoping they're not, who knows?
Are you first? Like first?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm anxious to see. There's 2 shows, so I could see us switching. I could see like maybe one of them I'll go first. One of the other one, Kirsten will go first.
Do you like going first? I fucking hate it.
I used to love it. And, because like, I was told for a long time, like, oh, it's a vote of confidence. Like they're doing something nice. So I would take it on face value that, it's a vote of confidence. And then I started like, eventually when I started going later in shows, I realized like, oh, it actually is easier.
Yeah.
Like it's, like I would be like, oh, if you're going to do good, you're going to do good. But like, no, the difference is for sure there to get them like,
you set the tone.
Yeah.
You really fucking it's a very got a message from Ryan William actually being like, is it like I should take it as a compliment that I keep asking to bullet, right? And I was like, yes. Like,
yeah. Yeah, it's a good thing.
Like of course, I've only bulleted like a couple times in my time in comedy. And I perpetually say I am not a bullet. I'm not yet.
Well,
I'll get there.
There's also just like certain type of, if you do dark jokes sometimes. So sometimes a dark joke is just better suited for later on in a lineup.
Or in the middle,
Yeah, later on in the middle. Like once you've had a few people test the waters, I would never put the darkest act first.
No. So one thing that I'm kind of learning, because I also have a higher pressure gig first weekend of May. I am opening for James Mullinger at Yucks.
Ooh, that's exciting.
And it's very nerve wracking because that's
gonna be great.
I'm gonna do my best and without trying to alter my material too much. But one thing I've noticed about like darker or like subjects that are a little more if you laugh when you say them on stage, or you say it with a smile, or like it kind of reassures people like that you're okay.
Yeah.
And it can help.
Yeah.
That's something I've been doing lately, and I've been finding that it helps a bit. But I don't know. That's just a stupid thing I've learned. But it's
no, for sure. You got to find something to make like yourself like
more relatable.
Yeah, you got to find that one thing that's like gonna help your delivery.
Yes.
Especially if it's like, find that tool. I don't know, that if a joke doesn't land, you might be able to try and save it or something. Something that works for you to like
recover.
Yeah.
Especially as the first act, because it's a high pressure spot.
Mm-hmm.
And in my case, like there's no host, so it's just me and then him. So it's truly a bit nerve wracking for me.
Yeah,
I'm very excited, but also very.
How long are you doing?
I'm not sure. So that's the other thing. I think 10 mins, but like,
nice.
But I wouldn't really want to do more than that because realistically speaking, I don't think I have a good enough more than that.
No, I feel you. I like
it for a club, like
they said they were like 10 in the first show, 10 to 15 on the second. I'm like, it's gonna be 10 both shows. I'm gonna do 10 both shows.
But you never know. You might have fun and be able to slow down and have some fun with it.
Yeah, the thing is, it's just such a big room that like crowd work isn't possible. And normally that would be the thing that would extend my set, is if I could like talk to someone or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am petrified of crowd work. Petrified.
It's like just gotta like rip the Band-Aid off, I find. Like
just dive in.
Yeah. I just have something prepared to get out of it if it's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing about like pseudo hosting or like being the first act. It's like I do feel like I have to interact and I don't have a lot of experience with it. And to me, as a control freak, it's terrifying to go off course.
Yeah.
It's terrifying to me.
It's a big risk
to go off course.
It's a big risk.
And it's something that like I think you gain experience with that the more you do it. But like I have not dipped my toe into that world. I admire comics who can admire it so much.
Some people are just like
natural crowd workers.
So good at it. It's yeah.
And that's a very big gift to have, by the way. If you are someone who's like can pull off crowd work.
Yeah.
That's a skill that should be cherished.
Yeah, for sure.
You know? All right. Ooh. The segment that could get us canceled. The last segment. Brandon, do you have an unpopular opinion? Don't hate me for this, but it's time for an unpopular opinion.
I also came with multiple, but this one, I'm between two. One that like, I don't want to like make comedians mad, but it's just a strong opinion I have about comedy.
Make them mad.
I think that, and I choose my words carefully because I was thinking about this earlier, but I think that stand-up comedy is funnier when it's not trying to prove a point. Like, I'm not saying it's better because like, I think Travis proves a lot of points.
Yes.
And like, you can't, but Travis also has plenty of bits where he's like not proving a point, and those might be like,
yes,
my favorite. So it's just a personal thing, but
it's your personal opinion. Yes.
That when you're not encumbered with the stress of like having to incorporate this opinion.
Yeah.
Those are the bits that I enjoy watching the most.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Like when someone says something that's like just so like, I don't want to use the word silly, but it's just like a thought that is so there's some comedian that fucking I don't know who was Whitney Cummings always mentions him, and she says that he has like a big long 10-minute bit about mangoes.
I don't know
some stand-up comedian that like just talks, and what comes to mind when you say that opinion is Steve Mackey.
Yeah,
people
that's a
like
good
Steve
example.
Mackey who like it's just so special and unique and like you've never heard it before, and it truly doesn't mean he's not like preaching some message or anything.
I think there's a distinction between like, because I think when they are making a good point, it just pulls you out of it a little bit, where you're just like, oh yeah, that's a really good point. Where if it's just like, there's not really anything to think about even, or it's just, you know what I mean? To me,
that's a good one.
That is, in my opinion. And the other thing I have written, I have a few, but
love that.
Smoking cigarettes is cool. And I don't smoke. I don't smoke cigarettes.
You don't?
No.
Did you ever?
No.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I smoke weed, but I don't smoke
Durham
cigarettes.
smoked.
Durham smoked occasionally. Like he would like go off and on.
Right.
Go back and forth between like, sometimes he would have a pack and sometimes he wouldn't. Not that consistent.
It certainly looks cool when
That's
people
what
smoke.
I mean. It does look cool. Like, it's not going to make an uncool person look cool, because there are like plenty of people who just like smoke, but there is something about when it's used as like an accessory for on a really cool person, where you're just like, that's pretty cool.
Pretty cool and poetic. And I'm just also jealous of like the fact that smokers just like are able to take breaks.
Yeah. It's like an event. Like, if smoking wasn't so bad for you, oh my God, I would smoke.
Right?
I've smoked cigarettes before, and like, I literally enjoy it. That's the other thing, is just I don't do it because I know it's bad for me and I don't want to get addicted. But
yeah.
Like, I haven't smoked a cigarette in maybe 5+ years, but being drunk and smoking a cigarette,
it's fun.
Yeah, it is really enjoyable.
It is. And you smoke weed, right?
Yeah.
That's not the same thing though, right? In your mind?
No. I think
not quite.
No, I don't think smoking weed like looks cool.
No. Which is so weird.
Yeah, it's a weird distinction that like a cigarette looks a lot cooler than a joint.
It does.
I don't know. A joint's just like a little wrinkly and like funny shaped.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have like that classic, like, I don't know.
That classic, I'm just chill, I'm cool.
Well, like,
I'm usually the best conversations that happen are between smokers.
Someone could like throw their cigarette and get in a fight. And like fighting's not cool, but you know what I mean? It's like that, like someone can have a cigarette and be like ready to go and like still like tough and whatever. But if someone has a joint, they're kind of like
they're immobilized.
Yeah, they're out of it for a little bit. And like
yeah.
It's not that they're not cool, but they're a different kind of cool.
I gotta smoke weed more. I really do. I do enjoy it quite a bit. I just don't do it that much.
No, I love weed.
I do. I don't know
why.
It
can get in the way of though. It can get in the way.
Man.
I think that people think that there's like no unhealthy but relationships with weed, but there are definitely people with like unhealthy.
That's true.
Relationships with weed.
Do you think? Okay, can I ask you? Do you think it is addictive?
Because
some people really don't think it is.
I do, but in like the smallest way. Like,
yeah,
if I have weed in the house, I'm probably gonna smoke it at some point throughout the evening.
Yeah,
but and I always have weed in the house. But
I picture a weed cupboard.
Jars. Jars.
Nice.
But I'll like go like when I went to Italy with my parents a few years ago, and I smoked weed at that point, but like I went 2 weeks in Italy without smoking weed, and it was like fine.
Okay, so then I think if that's the case, you must have a very healthy relationship with it, because I've known some people who are like different and like they just can't go without it.
Like,
and that's what makes it not great.
It's not that I wouldn't have enjoyed it, but I kind of like looked into like, can you get weed in Italy? Is it worth it? And it's like, to me, it's like, if there's any risk of getting in trouble in like a foreign place, then I'm just like, I'm not going to do it. I'm just like, I would rather just wait till I get home and do it. Like,
it's not worth it.
Safely. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you find it helps you with like, joke writing and stuff? Like, does it make you creative?
No, I think that, well, I shouldn't say no, but like, I come up with a lot of bad ideas when I'm stoned. Like, just like dumb premises that I'll like text to people, and then later on like look back and be like, that wasn't even that good. Like,
do you wrent ideas down on your phone in like your notes section? Do you ever go back through those and just go, what the fucking fuck?
So the other day I actually like went through all my notes in my phone and put all of my like the joke ideas.
Oh my
into,
God,
like,
look at that.
one. So these are all not bits that I do on stage. These are all just like ideas.
Just ideas that came to mind. Oh my God.
So maybe a few of them I've like tried, but most of them are just unfinished. Like this one says, I was watching a baking competition show and there was a Halloween themed episode, and one of the judges said, "Those cupcakes are very scary," which I just thought was funny. She was like, she was judging the cupcakes and she's like, "The cupcakes are very scary."
That's like, that reminds me of an observation I had last night when I was scrolling through TikTok, and I get so many tarot card readings on TikTok, like tarot card readers that are like, if you came across this was meant for you. And I found it funny because she opened it with saying, I get the feeling that you might be experiencing heartbreak. And I'm just like, of course, if you're coming up with if tarot card readings are directed to me on TikTok, there's probably heartbreak involved. Yeah. Like what a fucking safe assumption. Jesus
you're not
Christ.
breaking any grounds with that one.
Really not. I get the feeling like you might be wanting answers about something. Oh, scammers.
Yeah.
Such scammers.
Yeah.
Do you have any other unpopular opinions? So smoking's cool.
Let me go back to my phone for 1 second. Smoking is cool. I do think that. I don't do it, but no, not really. That was basically it.
Do you think COVID's real?
Yeah, of course. No.
Oh, actually, let's fucking talk about, I would love to talk to you about the slap. The Will Smith slap.
Oh my goodness.
What was going through your mind when you saw that?
I think hitting people is always like lame.
Yeah.
Like I've never been the type that's like, oh, there's a lot of fights at my high school, and I was never the type who was like, oh, that's so cool. Like it's
right.
So inherently I thought the slap itself was lame. I think there's a lot of weird, aspects to it. Did you know that Chris Rock directed a documentary about Black women's hair?
No.
Yeah. So I hope that I'm not wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure. I got to look this up really quickly.
Yeah, we'll fact
while
check
I'm
it.
saying it. But I'm pretty sure he did that. And that's that brings a weird part of it into me because
right.
It feels like maybe he would know not to have
made the joke.
So it's not necessarily about Black women's hair, but it is a documentary, 2009, called Good Hair. Prompted by a question from his young daughter, comic Chris Rock sets out to explore the importance of hair in Black culture. So that was a point that was referenced to me pretty early, just in something I was reading, and that kind of stuck with me. That being said, I'm just not, the only strong feelings I have on it is that I don't like the people who are shitting on the fact that they're in an open relationship.
Yeah.
I don't like that because it's that feels weird.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't have, it almost feels what does that have to do with anything? There's
also a lot of misogyny directed at Jada that I don't like. You could think she's a bad person, but just I don't know.
That she's has control over him and stuff.
Yeah. There's just weird opinions people seem to have directed at I don't know why. I guess I don't follow the family, the Smith family close enough, but it seemed weird to me how much of it was about Jada when it was him slapping. It was two men. It was clearly an instance to me of toxic masculinity, where it's he felt that he had to protect Jada, who's perfectly capable of protecting herself.
Yep.
So it did feel really weird to me to be why are we all piling on Jada when he was the one who got up and slapped her?
He's responsible for his
actions. She's not.
I rarely pop off in Facebook comments, and I had to with a couple Facebook people coming in with hot takes about the slap. Yeah. One of them was it's all on Jada. If she hadn't made the face. Because she
I don't agree with that.
She made this look when Chris gave the joke, that she didn't like the joke, and when Will had seen her make the face, he had got up and done it, and I was what the fuck? Everyone's responsible for their own actions. These are two adults, and Will Smith had every capability to not do that.
Yeah,
and he did. So this has nothing to do with her, and whatever, say what you will about their relationship. But it's you're allowed to disapprove of a joke. You're allowed to not like a joke. Mm-hmm. You're allowed to make a face at a joke. But
you're not allowed to hit someone about a joke.
He physically got up and physically assaulted one of the best comedians.
So I think Will was in the wrong. I don't like the joke. I've heard some people be oh, it's just a joke. I personally get why the joke was important. It doesn't make me dislike Chris Rock or anything. I still think Chris Rock is funny, but I didn't like the joke personally.
Yeah.
But obviously him hitting someone trumps that. And it's well, now you're in the wrong. He maybe could have spun it in a way that it was I didn't like that, or could have, but when you hit someone, it's oh, you're over, you're done. Your points lost.
Oh man. Just so fucking shocking.
It was the most entertaining thing that happened in TV in a long time.
I mean, it was Oscars, right? Yeah, Oscars. Yeah. It made the Oscars a thing again.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's for sure. I would be very curious to hear what Chris Rock has to say about
anxious to hear.
Me too.
Yeah, he's got to be. Yeah, he's gonna have some really good material.
I just can't imagine that being something that you're now known for.
Yeah. Yeah. But he handled it so well.
He really did.
That's goes to show the shit that comics have to put up with sometimes, that he just knows how to navigate such a crazy situation where just cause I'm sure it's not the first time someone's done something so crazy that it's thrown off a show. Like everyone's been in a show where something just
The
so
Kanye thing with Taylor Swift.
wild. Yeah.
Like him just getting up and interrupting her.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. It's just it's also just crazy to me that like some people are just allowed to storm a stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Without security going,
thing, like,
whoa, what's going on?
That's the other thing. It's like, it's wild that like one thing that did make me really laugh was Judd Apatow tweeted and he started with, he could have killed him, which is like really funny because well, he calmed down. He slapped him. He wasn't going to kill him.
Yeah.
But he tweeted and he started out with like, he could have killed him. And then he ended up like deleting the tweet because I think so many people were making fun of him.
Fucking one of my favorite comedians, Rosebud Baker.
Oh yeah. Rosebud.
She had actually was part of something with Will, because Will Smith did something about stand-up, a documentary or
I heard about that.
Some sort of series or something about
he, like try stand-up.
Yeah, and like she was involved with that, so she would have met him and stuff. But she was just like, it's funny that some comedians are now assuming that they're gonna get like physically assaulted now. Like we're so important. Like now we're so important that we're at risk.
Yeah.
And it's like that stance is kind of funny too.
That is funny stance.
But like, it is like, I think it does just go to show that it's still a very disrespected art form.
Yeah. I mean,
unfortunately,
like I've never seen someone get like slapped on stage, but I know comics who've like had stuff thrown at them. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, it hasn't happened to me and I haven't seen it, but I've seen shows get disrupted in like major ways that it just like, there's no way to go forth normally.
Yeah. And there's tiers on levels, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, one of the lowest levels would be like just talking during a comedian set. It's like, that's pretty disrespectful.
Mm-hmm. And then like, I have seen people get up and like walk towards the stage. But I've never seen anyone get like physical.
My God, I don't know. I feel like as a woman, I would just be very terrified of that.
It was Mackie on stage while it was happening.
Really?
So probably one of the better people to.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
be going up against asking for it.
Yeah, Mackie handled it very well because the guy was clearly like pretty out of it, and he was like talking about his shadow, and Mackie's like, "What do you mean shadow?" And then he walked up to the stage.
My God, I think I was there once. I think I was there for that one.
Yeah,
where was
Shoe Shop?
That I was there for that one.
Yeah,
I remember that.
That was a really interesting one.
Does anything stick out in your mind? You've done so many shows. As like a show that like you'll like something happened that was so insane that you'll just never forget.
That one for sure. This is a complete like opposite end, like not as bad. One time I was at a show at Yuck Yucks, the old Yuck Yucks, and you know how they had like those tables in the back for comics to sit at, like those folding like
yeah.
One time I was sitting at one and I put my arms on it and it just collapsed and the show was going on.
Oh shit.
That was crazy. Like the show had just started. The host was up. I just like happened to rest my arms on it and the table just collapsed. That was bad.
Did the comedians notice on stage?
No, it was so dark and it was very back of the room that like, I think it was Martin hosting, but the comics on the show certainly got like a huge laugh out of it. Like, cause it's just like so embarrassing and so disruptive to like knock down an entire, like glasses on it and
I think I would die inside.
Oh, it was so embarrassing.
Oh my God. That's, it's just, it's anything can happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
In a show, which is wild.
Yeah. I've had, people just like, or someone hits you with like an insult at the right time that there's no coming back from. Like,
yes.
Yeah. Plenty of things like that happen.
Like audience members who talk back at you.
Yeah. I've seen that where it's like someone says something and the audience will like, someone in the audience will just like have a quick quip that it like shouldn't encourage, but it actually, they just get them. And then a whole audience laughs. And then it's like, oh, now if you don't come back at the right thing, you're done. You're done.
Do you feel good about how you handle hecklers?
I've only been, I think I'm okay at doing like crowd work or whatever, but not in that situation. I hate
that too.
Heckled, especially because anytime I've ever been heckled, once it's happened where someone was taking offense to a joke And like, that's a hard thing to navigate because I'm like, oh, I don't want to like, and another time I just made a comment about how I was stupid and someone was like, yeah, I believe that. And it was like one of the situations where I was like, yeah.
I almost feel like oh my God, it's tough. Cause like, I do feel like as comics, we almost have to have things ready to go for certain jokes.
So forced.
It does come across. And it's like, I don't even know. I just hate going off route. It just fucks me up so bad. And some people are so good. Like Robbie destroys hecklers.
Robbie is like, yeah. Shout out to Robbie because he's got a really tough thing to make work that he's like making work. You know what I mean? Just like, I'm not gonna do that many jokes. I'll go up and like talk about
what happened today.
Blah blah blah. And he's like finding a way to make it funny.
Yeah.
And it's like very impressive because
that and like, yeah, being stern and with audience members that seems like my worst nightmare. To just be like, shut up.
Yeah.
Like just to command the stage as like, no, please stop talking. Like,
it's also not fun.
It seems simple, but it's not.
And it's not fun. It takes you out of it to be like,
it's really not.
Now you're just worried about like, did I just come across like a parent? Like,
yeah.
You know, when like your friend's mom yells at you and like the energy is shifted too much.
Puts a weird tone in the room.
Yeah.
Happened to me at Oasis recently, like where
get someone to be quiet.
Where it was like these front fucking row table of guys, just full blown conversation. And for the first time ever, I just went, what did you say? First time ever. I was like, what did you say? And they were just like dead silent. Because I don't think that they were expecting me to like.
Yeah. To call attention to it.
And then I was just like, oh, you guys are just straight up talking.
My goodness. Those people are the worst. People who talk.
But
people who talk suck.
People who talk suck. Coming from two people who talk
into microphones right now.
Yeah, it's a tricky thing to navigate. My God.
Yeah.
Oh, Brandon, we're coming on 2 hours. So
holy moly.
Yeah, right?
I flew by.
It's the fucking podcast time warp.
Whoa.
Let's do the time warp again. I would love for you to tell people about your new podcast because I didn't mention it off the top.
Yeah, so I just started I actually did it like the very beginning of the pandemic, first few months. I did a podcast called the Brandon Michael Asparagus.
Yes. What was this?
It was like just messing with people, essentially, like finding different ways to like mess with people. And then I kind of just brought it back. So now I brought it back titled as the Untitled Brandon Michael Podcast Project, formerly known as Brandon Michael Asparagus. Very long name, but if you type in Untitled Brandon Michael Podcast.
Actually, if you just type in Untitled B, it should pop up. Which is good. A good sign.
So I'm just like, I guess the quick story that I'll tell to entice you is last summer. No, not last summer. Again, when COVID first started, I started messaging rappers on Instagram saying like, hey, I'm going to write a track to you. I'm going to diss you because I wanted them to diss me. So I started making songs and sending them to them. And I eventually did get someone to send me a song back. And that's in the first episode. And then in addition to that, there's just like, I don't know, prank phone calls.
I fucking love prank phone calls.
Yeah. Any kind of stupid audio bit. It's only 20 minutes, only 20 to 30 minutes. So it's so quick.
Why do we not prank phone call people anymore?
Yeah.
Can we do it right now?
Oh my God.
But like, I guess what would be a good prank to do? So I think of the Glazer podcast. They did one. They were like, let's see what would happen if we called one of our friends and just said, I just want to tell you that I love you.
I think my friends are so sweet.
Oh my God. For you specifically, I wonder what would happen. Oh, can we do this? This would be so funny. Who would be the funniest person? But you have to say it like very seriously. Is there somebody that you call often?
Robbie
might be a good one. I was thinking Robbie or maybe Chris.
Do you have Chris's number?
I actually don't.
Yeah, I don't have Chris's number. I was just looking at my phone and I was shocked that like
I guess a messenger phone call, but like, I also think low key, it's just funny because, and you'll appreciate this, I do feel like sometimes there's this attitude of like a friend is calling me because someone's died.
Yeah, it's scary. Picking up the phone is scary. Like if Richard ever calls me again, I swear to God.
Would that be funny though to call someone and just be like, "Hey man, I just want to tell you that I love you, man."
I'm trying to look at my contacts who are comics and who I think, oh, I do have Chris's number. No, that can't be. Oh, never mind. That's not the same Chris.
Not the same Chris.
Oh my God. Someone I bought weed from once. Can you imagine I just call it this mistakenly thinking it's going to be Halef?
Actually, let's do Robbie. Okay. Because I'm assuming that most of your phone calls to Robbie are like about show logistics. And Robbie's also not someone who I would classify as emotional. So I think this could be very funny. You got to put him on speakerphone though.
I don't know if he's going to pick up. He's at a show.
Fuck. Oh, that's right. It is 7 p.m. Where is he? He's at the dark side?
Yeah, he's at dark side. I don't think he's going to. I was just thinking about that. I don't think he's going to pick up.
Should we try?
I don't want to. The thing is, I don't want to disrupt him in show energy just to be like, you know what I mean? I don't want to disrupt him while he's like setting up to be like, hey, Robbie, love you.
See, I find that I think that would be the funniest.
All right, I'm going to do it.
Let's just try it. Put him on speaker and hold it up like kind of close to the mic. See if he answers.
Is it registering?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
Good, and yourself?
Oh, you know, just living.
Everything okay?
Yeah, I just want to say I love you.
I love you too, buddy. Are you coming to the show?
I'm not. I'm actually doing Intoxicated right now. And Sarah wanted me to call a friend and tell them that I love them.
Oh, I love you too, buddy.
All right, well, you're making a guest appearance on Intoxicated right now.
I wish you could come to the show. We're almost sold out.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well,
enjoy the rest of the talk about your gay feelings and shit.
Hey, have a great show.
All right, you too, buddy.
See you, man. Bye. I figured he would say love you too.
Oh my God.
It's not the first time we've said it.
I'm delightfully surprised.
Yeah, Robbie and I have a good relationship.
Who would have a funny response?
If I had Halef's number.
Fuck me.
He would that was my other thought with Robbie. I was like, he's going to just take it genuine. And like, I mean, I'm being genuine. I do love Robbie, but.
That is so funny. Could we messenger call Chris?
Yeah, I'll try.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I love this so much, Brandon. I'm living. I feel like I'm on a sleepover.
I don't know if he's going to answer, but. Okay. Is it on speaker? He's not going to answer. Fuck. I'm going to be confusing him. He's going to be like, what?
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, Brandon.
Hey, bud. Just wanted to say love you.
I love you. I love you too. Are you? What are you doing?
Just thinking about you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Really?
Yeah. Pardon?
Oh, fuck. Is this I don't know how to handle things like this.
Oh man, no, it's good. It's nice. It shows it shows the level we're at. That we just call each other like this.
I love you too, buddy, but I feel like this is a ruse.
No malintentions. No malintentions behind this.
No malintentions.
Well,
Brandon, I love you too. And despite what everybody says about you, I've never agreed with all of them. And I've always felt that you were great. I
appreciate that. I appreciate you going to bat for me.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I just kind of sat silently and just disagreed. But yes, absolutely.
Well, that's more than most. So that's why I love you.
I love you too, buddy.
All right. Have a good night.
You too, man. Take it.
Bye-bye.
I just realized how funny it would be if I now called Chris and told him that I loved him.
You know what's funny? Facebook asked me what I would rate that call. I said 5 stars. That was a 5-star call.
I'm so pleasantly surprised by the 2 picks that we made. How nice and emotional back to you they were. That's great.
Yeah, that was good.
Does
That's a
that
good
make
exercise.
you feel good?
Yeah, I'm feeling good now. It's a good exercise.
So nice. I guess there's no one that would really just be like, I don't love you. Like,
no.
Can you imagine?
I think I did make Chris uncomfortable. That's why I thought he was going to be a good pick, and I'm sure he's still confused right now as to what's going on.
Please don't say a thing. Let's let this episode come out. This will be out not this Friday coming, the next Friday.
Sweet.
And yeah. I'm gonna assume that it's okay for me to air that audio.
Oh yeah. It was nice. He was yeah.
God, so funny. Robbie didn't miss me. I love you too, man.
I mean, it's definitely okay to air Chris's audio. Of the 2 of them, Robbie was the one who called me gay.
It's okay. It's the end of the episode.
Oh, it's Robbie too.
The real troopers will get to hear that treat.
Yeah.
But yeah, so everyone, please subscribe to Brandon's podcast. The name again, Brandon?
Untitled Brandon Michael Podcast Project, formerly known as Brandon Michael Asparagus.
Okay. That's going to go right here in the video.
UBMPPFKABMA.
That's a long acronym.
It's a lot snippier to remember. Just the acronym.
Wonder how it would sound if you said it aloud, the acronym. That'd be a tough one.
UBM is a tough start.
Yeah, that's a tough one to say. And where can people find you specifically on socials? And
I actually changed my Instagram handle, and it's now Brandon Michael was taken. I didn't even mean to change it. I went to go check to see if that one was taken, and it changed it, so I kept it.
And are you trying to tell people that the old version of yourself has been captured by Neem Nielsen?
No, I mean like the username. the username Brandon Michael, that one was taken.
I know about Taken, the movie Taken.
I never saw that movie.
Brandon Michael was taken.
Should I see it?
I don't even think I've seen it.
Oh, just know the reference.
Yeah,
Damn.
I just know the reference.
Impressive.
But thank you so much for doing this. This was so fun.
Yeah, this was great.
I just love prank calling people now. I want to keep doing it.
Well, tune in. I prank call people all the time.
Oh my God.
Never grown up.
Fucking love that. Thank you so much, Brandon, for coming on. And everyone follow him. Stay tuned to what he's doing. And Brandon, you get to ring the bell. Ding, 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 ding.
Thank you for listening to the Intoxicated Podcast. If you enjoyed this week's episode, make sure you subscribe on whatever podcast app you use and leave a rating or review on Apple Podcasts. You can also give us a follow on Facebook and Instagram at Intoxicated Podcast and check out our video episodes on the Intoxicated YouTube channel. Until next week, feel hard and talk hard. Intoxicated Podcast is hosted and produced by Sarah McClellan, co-produced by Sarah Nicole, and brought to you by the messiness of life.